Rise with India podcast on ET Now.
Hello and a very warm welcome to this episode of the Rise with India podcast. I'm your host Rohit. This morning, the bond markets will digest the latest borrowing figures by the government, and shares of automotive companies will be in focus as October promises a production ramp up. So here are the top stories of the hour. The government will borrow 5 lakh crore rupees in the second half to fund revenue gap. Maruti says it plans to increase production in October. Revamped job survey finds 29% rise in 8 years across 9 sectors, and Invesco is in talk to invest in Swiggy at a massive $10 billion valuation. The government will borrow about 5 lakh crore rupees in the second half of this fiscal to fund the revenue gap and help revive the economy. During the first half, the government had raised about 7 lakh crore rupees by issuing bonds. Maruti Suzuki has told its component suppliers to be ready for production of 1,60,000 to 1,80,000 cars and SUVs in October, as it is making arrangements to secure supplies of chipsets via multiple channels. India has seen a 30% increase in employment in 8 years across 9 sectors, according to the latest quarterly employment survey by the Labour Ministry. Assessing the impact of the COVID-19 on employment, the survey showed 2.3 million organized jobs were lost between March last year and June this year. The Finance Ministry has set up a group of ministers that will review the current slabs, including a merger, and also suggest measures to expand the base for GST. Centre has been keen on reworking the slabs and had internally discussed the possibility of moving the 5% slab upwards and exploring a unified 16 to 17% rate. NCLT will today hear the plea for approval of Suraksha Group's bid to acquire debt-ridden realty firm JP Infratech. Swiggy is finalizing a new financing round of about $500 to $600 million that is likely to be led by US asset manager Invesco. The move is likely to catapult its valuations to $10 billion, double of what it was a few months ago. A new paper by ICMR is calling for reopening of schools in a phased manner, beginning with primary schools followed by secondary schools. The paper is authored by ICMR Chief Balram Bhargava, and it says that there is evidence to suggest that children aged 1 to 17 years have similar susceptibility to mild COVID as in adults, but the risk of severe disease is much less in children. Ratings agency ICRA and CARE Ratings have increased their GDP growth forecasts for the current fiscal marginally. Economists at the two agencies said GDP outcome have been better than expected in the first quarter, and prospects for the second half are brightening. Major US indices turned in a mixed performance overnight. The benchmark 10-year US Treasury briefly topped the 1.5% mark for the first time since June. Oil prices have already hit its highest level in nearly 3 years, as investors are getting concerned about supply chain disruptions. Senate Republicans have blocked a Democratic bill that would have raised the country's borrowing limit. This has escalated a political showdown over government finances just days before it runs out of money. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen had notified lawmakers that the government may not be able to keep paying its bills on time as early as next month if Congress doesn't authorize additional borrowing. The Biden administration is considering a US-led initiative to rival China's Belt and Road project, and a top White House official will scout Latin America next week for possible sites. Back home, benchmarks managed to trim most of their early gains but ended at fresh lifetime highs. Auto stocks witnessed strong rebound on hopes of improved demand and positive commentary on semiconductor issue, and made investors buy quality names. The street will also look out for August core sector output and September's manufacturing PMI numbers this week. Let's tell you about the active stocks this morning. Raymond has approved a consolidation to combine its tools and hardware and auto components business with its engineering business. The move is expected to improve synergies and explore monetization options. Proxy advisory firms have flagged off corporate governance issues at Finalising Cables and also advised shareholders to vote out 3 directors at the AGM. The company has publicly accused the cousin of Chairman Deepak Chhabria of instigating shareholders and creating the controversy. Zee Entertainment has said that it will take necessary action as per applicable law as 2 institutional investors demand for ouster of MD Puneet Goenka. Shyam Metallics will invest 850 crore rupees this fiscal as part of its 3,000 crore rupee capital expenditure plan to double steel making capacity and foray into the aluminum foils business. BPCL has said that it plans to invest 1 lakh crore rupees in the next 5 years to raise petrochemical production capacity, gas business, clean fuels, and improving marketing infrastructure. This will help BPCL prepare for the future where conventional fuels and EVs will coexist. Lenders led by SBI are set to recover 37,400 crore rupees this week, as Piramal Capital's acquisition of Dewan Housing looks likely to be completed this month itself. Aditya Birla Sun Life AMC, India's fourth largest asset management company, plans to raise about 2,800 crore rupees through an offer for sale. After the sale, the promoter's stake will fall to about 86%. The AMC has a market share of 8.3% in India's mutual fund industry. Sarda Mines, a company affiliated with Jindal Steel and Power, has emerged as the winning bidder for Quality Dairy. It won the e-bid process with an offer of 121 crore rupees, according to reports. Reliance could be in talks to invest about $200 to $250 million in InMobi's lock screen content platform Glance. The company is already backed by Reliance's partner Google. Reliance is looking to pick up 15 to 20% in the unicorn. And that's a wrap on this edition of the Rise with India podcast. Thank you for listening in. Wish you all a great day ahead. This is your host Rohit signing off. Goodbye and take care.
The Rise with India podcast on ET Now.